Very good. I'm not drinking anything hard because I got to paint, so I just have a glass of water here. One eye up here. I don't want it to look like a Picasso, a late Picasso, you know. Oh, good. This is great. Hi. Recognize so many names. Some I don't know, but a lot I do. Oh, there's my millennial. Hi, Jenna. Love my millennial. So I guess, we have like another 4 minutes before we get started. We'll let people come on.
Yes, yeah. We just thought we'd get that started in case anybody logged on early.
Do that, absolutely. I'm trying to get the artist, the recording artist on. Let's see if I could forward this to him. Okay, he is Howard Emerson. Can't read that. Yikes. I have no idea. Doesn't look right. Yeah, so I won't be drinking. I'll be drinking. I should have drank before, actually. But then I don't know, I need my wits about me. So hi, everybody, coming on. Hello, hello. Hi. So I'm just going to point out in the back here, I have a commission of a major house in Northport that it's almost done. It's like this stunning house. And the window panes, I'll just get it and bring it a little closer. Holy cannoli. It was a major pain, but it's getting there. She's right on the harbor. And I just have a little bit more work to do here and some brick work to do. So I will not be demoing that tonight. But it is there, almost done. Okay, stay there. So, okay. Got more people coming on. It's so fun seeing everybody popping up. The doorbell ringing. Marco is coming on, nice. And Anne, Michelle, recognize so many nice names. Lynn, and Karen, Barbara, Matt has left the room. And Eleanor, hello, hello. Christine, Kathleen, Melissa. Some of you have taken my classes, some I don't recognize, but it doesn't matter. I'm glad you're coming in to watch and check it out. I think Melissa's got some paint there. She didn't get a cocktail. She got her paints out.
Does everyone know this is just a demonstration and not an actual class?
Well, you're about to. It's just watching me paint and create something. And actually, it's interesting because I do actually, a lot of times in classes, people will say, can I just watch? I just want to watch you paint. So that this is your opportunity to just, no pressure. People find portraits super tough. So this is just an opportunity to let me pour it out of me. I did this other portrait. Don't know who she is, but literally I did it in 40 minutes. It was just like, that's what happens. It just pours out of me. So to stop sometimes actually is more painful than just plowing through it. So we'll see what comes out of me today. And I'll be talking my process through a little bit and letting you enjoy Howie's music. I figured if I'm going to do this, we better have copyright-free music. Not that he's copyright-free, but I have his permission. So, you know, we have a recording studio in Glen Cove, and we have a lot of wonderful musicians that come there and record their incredible original music. So,
So Jan, do you want to get started in a minute or so?
I sure can. Whenever you say, I'm going in.
Okay, I think you can probably start anytime.
We've got the recording artist is coming on too. I just got to notice that he's coming on.
Good.
Oh, he's on watching. Hello, Howard. I don't see you, but hello, Howie. You'll recognize your music. So thank you so much for letting me use it. My husband coordinated this with him. So I guess I'll get started. So this is just an opportunity to what I call Jan Cam, just kind of sit down and sit back and grab a cocktail and watch me paint. And I'll just be creating something. I'll talk my process through a little bit. And what's going through my head as I'm doing it, maybe some of the colors that I'm using and why I'm using them. So what I'll do is I'll be switching my camera to go to my camera that faces right down, since I don't paint up and down, it's watercolor, so I have to paint straight down. So I'm going to switch my camera, and we are going to, and you'll see me again when I'm done. Okay, so thanks for coming on, everybody. I'm gonna switch more. And this is my little art workstation here. And I am going to, this is the, I was going to be taking a workshop, and I had asked people to send me photographs of their children, family, pets, whatever. And this one came to me, and I was so struck by it. I thought she was absolutely gorgeous. Just the look on her face and that dreamy, you know, sort of look away, and her hair sort of tousled, and the lines on her shirt wrapping around, and the wisps. So this is what I'm going to be doing today. I don't know if she's coming on, the woman who sent me this photograph, but if you're on and you watch me and it's your photograph that you sent to me and I'm using it, it is my gift to you. So I'm going to start with what I usually start with, which is the eyes. And I start with the eyes because I always feel that if you can get the eyes, you really have the person. There's nothing else that you need to worry about getting. And I have my paints and my brushes all set up here, ready to go. And the color that I'm going to start with is a color that I love. My students know I love it, Dragon's Blood. And it's a beautiful, cool orange. And what I want to do is just sort of start getting the shape of the eye and the eyelid and maybe some of the shadows going on. And I start with this color because you don't want a young girl like this looking like she's got, you know, major eyeliner going on her face. So I'm just sort of getting that initial shape. I'm carrying it up a little bit onto the eyebrow. So while it is an orange color, it's not really a flesh color. And what will happen is that as we build it, this color will sort of dissipate and you really won't see too much of it at all. It's just a way to get started. And that's sort of the fear, is how you get started. How do we get started with something like this? And I got Howie finger picking in the background, cooling me off, slowing me down, chilling me out. HowardEmerson.com, if you like what you hear. He's always in the studio doing something wonderful. He's working on a new CD now. Okay, just going to switch to a bigger brush, get some more. Now, interestingly enough, when I'm using an orange such as this, I want to cool it down with maybe a little violet and maybe a little blue. When we look at skin tones, they're more than one color, right? There's no color flesh. Don't they say that in the crayons? There's no color flesh. And our skin tones are all different. Just adding a light wash. This is using my dragon's blood and my violet. My students know I have a lot of violets. We just painted hydrangeas. Had so much fun doing that. I want to get this nice shadow here on that eye. Keep it all soft. What I talk about a lot when I'm doing a portrait is the idea that I'm really painting shadow shapes. This particular painting, the photograph doesn't really have heavy shadows, so I sort of have to find them and create them. But that light coming in is on the side of her face is really valuable real estate, and I want to keep that very, very soft and very white. And that creates a lot of interest. By adding a little blue to my dragon's blood is a beautiful orange, a cool orange, and the blue just makes it a little shadowy, which is great. And there's a nice blue shadow on the side of her face kicking in, probably like some sunlight. So I'm going to add blue on that side too. I know it's going to look strange at first, but you'll see it comes together. When I teach portraits, I talk about a class that I took at FIT many moons ago. And the teacher would talk about, she would shut off the overhead lights and she would talk about the natural skin tones that we could see with just natural light. And we would learn how to paint and find and see and paint the beautiful blues and greens and oranges and pinks and violets that was in our skin tones. And when we did that, we got it to come alive. It was really a fascinating class. Never forgot it. It's a lot of years ago now, but never, ever forgot that workshop. Class, actually. It was an ongoing class. So I just want to lay down a nice skin tone. So another thing you have to sort of be conscious of when you're painting a younger person is that you don't just paint lips and make it look like they're wearing makeup and lipstick. You really need to make sure you tone those things down. FIT taught me a lot of things. I use all of those skill sets to this day still. It's really it was an incredible time. It was a long time ago, but I'm not telling you how long ago. Beautiful shadow under her neck. Usually this is a really good spot to just melt right into. So you can see I kept this side of her face really white. I'll be adding a little bit more color, but just to start getting some tones down. We'll see how dark we go with all of it. Let's get those eyes. I think they're blue. It's hard to tell from the photograph, but if they're blue, they're like a nice deep blue. So I'm going to use a color. I'm going to use my indigo and maybe a little ultramarine blue. And a nice little trick is to always put a little bit of lighter blue in the corners of the eyes. That makes it look round. It gives it a little shadow and makes it look round. So it's a nice little trick, that skill that we add. Oh, and I'm hearing people coming in. Hello, whoever came in. We couldn't wait while you were getting your cocktail. And you always want to hold on to that nice highlight in the eye. That really gives the eye a lot of life. And there we go. Got her eyes. If you get the eyes, you really do have so much of the job done. Are they done? No, we still have to go in and add a pupil and some shadow and stuff, but that's a good start. Watercolor is all about the balance of paint to color, what colors. It's such a balancing act, and there's no real answers. It's just a matter of finding. I react to what I see here. That's really important to me, is that rather than having a clear-cut formula, that I make sure that I'm reacting to what I'm seeing happening on the page. And that gives me a lot of feedback. So you could see when we started off, those lines looked really strong, but now, because the eyes are darker, everything is relative to that. And you know, they say you can't correct a watercolor, but boy, is that not true. Oops. I want to bring a little color to her face. So I'm going to be using, I love that blue that I added over there. A little bit of coolness right under her eye. She has a particular type of shadow under here, which is, you have to get those things if you want it to look like the person. We don't want her to look old, certainly, but we do want to get certain characteristics that she has. And you don't really paint eyelashes, you know, it just looks too fake, looks too twiggy. You really just need to indicate that. All right, I'm going to switch Howie to his other. That was, what did I just play here? I played Crossing Lake Crystal. Now I'm going to play It Ain't Necessarily So. Thank you again, Howard. And again, if you like what you hear, he's on howardemerson.com. And thank you. So interesting, instead of adding a brown eyebrow, what I did was I used my complementary colors. I used my dragon's blood, which is an orange, and a little blue, which is the complement to it, and it creates a nice soft brow. I'm not going for brown. And cerulean just mixes so beautifully with the dragon's blood. I think there's a chat room. I don't know, Susan or Kathy, I don't know if anybody has any questions that might come up in the chat room. I can't really see it because I'm not looking at that screen. But if there's any questions that anybody has, if you want to, read them off, I'm happy to answer any questions people have about what I'm doing or my process or anything.
Okay, Jan, right now we don't have a chat room on Zoom,
Okay.
but we'll keep an eye on the YouTube channel.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. I'm really amazed at how much from my FIT days, I hold on to when I'm doing these. So much of the bone structure and things that we learned in class that was drilled into us certainly comes into play. If you've never taken anatomy or done live drawing classes, we did that, oh my goodness, every day, all day, 6 hours a day. And it really has stuck with me.
Jan, we have a couple questions.
Oh, okay, good.
Lois wants to know what color you're using on the lips, and another YouTube video watcher is asking, what is your favorite watercolor paints?
Okay, good questions. So to answer, what I used on her lips is the same dragon's blood that I was using. And what I did was I mixed it with a little bit of a pinky violet, just to give it a little bit more so it doesn't look orange. Dragon's blood is a color by a company, an Italian company called Mamari. And to answer that YouTube question, it is my favorite manufacturer of colors, Mamari Blue. They're not as well known, but they are really an incredible brand. And I'm big into them. I have not been able to find another color similar to my dragon's blood. So and my local stores, Reeby's and Blick's, they try to get it for me. They're so sweet. They really do try very hard to get me my crazy colors. Also, Daniel Smith. I'm a big Daniel Smith user for different reasons. There's different reasons why I use the colors that I do. Daniel Smith has a wonderful line of colors that actually break up into other colors and give us wonderful granulation. And so I use specific colors for very specific purposes. But to me, the Mamaris are just perfect for doing portraits. I think with other colors, you really have to play around with so many colors to get a good thing going on. But Mamari plays so well with my violets and with my blues and whatnot. It's just a great color. Unfortunately, our stores are starting to open up again. One of my other colors, my favorite colors is, as my students know, is dragon's blood. In addition to that, it's indigo. The indigo that they have is just a beautiful color. It's a warm, beautiful indigo color, and I love it.
Okay, Jen, you may have answered one of these questions already. One
ahead.
was, what
don't
color
mind.
violet are you using?
Okay, violet, yeah.
And another question is, are you dipping into the water and then on a paper towel?
No, I do have a mat here, a dish mat that I have in case I need to remove a lot of water. So if I go into my water, which is right here, I may have too much water on it. So I'll just lightly tap my brush to this surface here, the towel. Some people use a lot of paper towels, but I find this dish mat is just perfect for me, actually. So that's in addition to that. So just so I don't have so much water on my brush, I'm able to monitor it really easily and quickly. In addition to what violet I'm using, I have a couple that I'm using. One of my favorites is I'm using a pinky violet, which is called Verzino, which is a Mamari color, which I love. And it's a beautiful, cool, pinky violet color. And so I use that a lot. And my dragon's blood. Basically, I've only used really 3 colors here. My pinky violet, my Verzino, my indigo, and my dragon's blood. Those are really the only colors I've used so far. So like an area here where I'm going around her jaw and onto her neck, you might think, well, what color is that? It's kind of a brown color. But me, I would rather go to a violet and tone my orange down with a violet, and it looks so much more beautiful. And there I have it.
One more question, and somebody is asking about how you got the drawing on the paper to begin with. Did you outline it with a pencil?
Yes, what I do first is I do a contour drawing. So I always do a contour drawing first. So I did have a very light drawing all set to go, yeah. It's better to have, some people do just go ahead and just start drawing. I sort of like to have my roadmap, and it's just, like I said, it's just a simple contour drawing that really gives me exactly where I want to be. I think we're going to hear Howie sing on this one. Is it this one? It's one of them. So when I'm going into her hair, I just want to gently, softly go into her hair so I don't have a hard line around her head, because otherwise it'll look like she's wearing a wig. So you just softly blend that into her hair and then build her hair from there. So you can see how I didn't have to use brown. I used a beautiful violet, and I'm going to go in and make this a little darker. And I don't pre-mix my colors on a palette generally. I go right from my palette into my paper. And I like what happens when I do that. It's a much more natural look. Oh, see, I like the questions. That's very good. I have a little scrubber brush here. I just want to get a little bit more highlight in her eyes. So this helps me scrub out a little color and just lighten the inside of her eyes a little bit, just to get a little bit more life in them. As I darken other areas. She's coming together pretty fast. I never really know, but I'm so glad.
Jan,
and it looks like her.
Question.
Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
This one's from Jillian. You said you were using a violet and a blue in the eyes. Which
yes.
Blue? Also,
that was my indigo
reflection.
I'm sorry?
She also wants to know how you place the reflection in the eye.
Well, I am looking at the photo, and it is, the light is sort of coming from this side and this side. There's a light on this side, and there's also a reflective light on this side. So I see in the photograph that there really is a very nice reflection that's going on. So I want to be sure to always, make sure that that's in there. Absolutely. And I mentioned the color of the eyes. Was the other question? I used my indigo.
Yes, she said you were using a violet and a blue in the eyes, and she wanted to know what those colors were.
The other blue that I used my indigo, which is a dark blue, and I used a little of my ultramarine blue. So just to give it a little bluer. One is a cool blue and the other one's a warm blue. Okay. Like everything that's going on, it's going to be hard to finish too much of her face without working a little bit into her her hair a little bit. So I'm just going to go ahead and, oh, there's Howie singing. So cool. He's just the coolest. Crazy mama. Okay. Okay, for the hair, I'm going to use a combination of a raw sienna, which is like a sandy kind of color. And I'm probably going to use a darker violet to go into different other parts of her hair because, as I said before, blue and orange are complementary colors, so it helps tone it down a little bit. Same thing with, I just want to fix something on her nose, a little highlight that I see there. Lift that up a little bit. So if I add, my raw sienna is a yellow, and if I add violet to it, most people would go to brown, and I get that, I like color, and I like the idea of colors mixing again on the paper. So to tone my yellow down, I'm going to add violet. I'm going to do it right now, and you're going to see it happen. So the violet I'm using is a Mamari color. It's my bluish violet. I'm going to add it right in here. And it'll tone it down. And a little bit more of my yellow, a little bit more of my violet. I'm getting a nice, beautiful yellow and violet tone each other down, and they make a beautiful brown. And that's just the way colors work. And I have a beautiful rigger brush that I can use to pull strands out to create her hair. So the rigger is a nice long brush, and it gives me an opportunity to just pull color out and get some of these wisps that are just so beautiful to the photograph. And I'm able to pull that color right out from this area here that is already kind of on the mixing block right in here. Just going to add a little more color to darken it, because as I pull it out, I'm losing a little bit. So I want to make sure that I keep it charged up nicely. And when they mix on the paper, you really don't feel you don't feel like you're looking at violet. It's a very interesting thing because they are really meant to work together in this manner, meaning complements. Very violet that I just added there. I'm not worried. It's moving, and I could mix it and let it pull into this nice dark area on the top of her head. She's got a little red in her hair too, so I'm just going to add a little dragon's blood. This rigger just lets me pull nice little strands down very softly. ever so slow, just so soft. So for me, it's hard to finish the face until I build the hair. So that's why I went into the hair. Um, when I'm painting, I don't feel it necessary to finish any area before I go on to another area. It's so nice to be able to move around a painting and know that you have the ability to move around and make adjustments as you are painting. This rigger just gives me beautiful thin lines, absolutely gorgeous lines. And it's meant to be dragged. It's not meant to paint this way. They're meant to be dragged, these riggers. And guess what, guys? I don't have to paint every hair on her head because you know it's hair. People know it's hair. So one of the things that I've always seemed to do and enjoy to do is to leave something out for the viewer. Because, you know, you have the photo. What makes the painting special is that it's painted and it's painterly and it's interpretive. So many different styles exist out there, right? So what makes you any different than anybody else? And that within that answer is where you start developing your own style and your own approach. And you could learn from the very best, but what will happen is you will start discovering that you have a style.
Jan, we have a compliment from Matt, and he just said that he's enjoying watching you paint. It's been a while, and that this is excellent, and it's wonderful to watch the magic occur.
Oh, Matt is, you know, all the classes stopped, of course. But Matt is an incredible, he does incredible figurative drawings, really beautiful, beautiful, beautiful work he does. Very distinctive style. And Matt, thank you so much. It's so nice to see you right there with me. It's a pleasure and it's a joy and it's a privilege. Really, this is just so special. I thank the library for doing this. It's just, you know, it's where I feel the most natural is in front of people painting. It's just, this is my norm. And while we can't be together, this is sort of our new norm.
Another question, Jan, was someone was asking about where you teach more formally. And I just want to put out there that I'd be happy to share your email or your website with everyone who had registered.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Yeah. The best answer to that is to sign up for my newsletter. I'm not teaching anywhere right now except online. Yeah, there's just, and I don't know where I'll be when all of this sort of comes out on the other side. It's very hard to say what's going to happen. So I can't really answer all of that. So many things are changing. I do have a workshop I'm doing in Vermont. It was supposed to be this week, interestingly enough. And of course that got rescheduled. It's actually rescheduled for October, mid-October. And it's a beautiful inn in southern Vermont. And they have an incredible artist studio, just wonderful. And let's hope that we all feel really comfortable about being together at that point. But who knows? And where I'll be on the other side of this, I have no idea. So right now, I'll just share with you, I have a class every Tuesday on Zoom. And we decide, just like we do in class, what we're going to do next week. So we have a lot of fun. And and this Thursday, I have a class a workshop that already started. I'd like to do a series on the Thursdays, and this one is Sand, Sea, Surf, Sky, and Sunsets. And we just had our first one. which worked out really good. Really had a wonderful time and a lot of fun. And the next, I think, workshop we're going to do is perhaps going to be a 4-week florals, just doing different flowers. I'm a little unique insofar as what I like to teach is everything except abstract. I'm not an abstract painter, but everything else I'll do. Obviously, I do portraits, and I love teaching portraits, florals, old rusty trucks, landscapes, waterscapes. I just enjoy the challenge of it all.
Jan, Melissa would like to know if you have a paper preference for watercolor.
Oh, that's a good question. And yes, I do. And my preference is actually, well, I've been in experimenting with more different papers, but my favorite, sorry, I'm just getting my spray bottle. My favorite is Arches hot press. Just misting this down just so it moves a little bit. Arches 300-pound hot press paper is my favorite. So yes, I'm also been enjoying Waterford paper. I think that's a cold press. Yeah, I think that's a cold press. Or the only hot press I really enjoy is the Arches. And Kilimanjaro, which is a paper that I get over from Cheap Joe's. Kilimanjaro, nice paper. I've really been enjoying playing with it. Does different things. I stick with my hot press for portraits because it's a very predictable result. So very good questions. Thank you, guys. I'm just softening some of the hair around her face with that rigger brush. Throwing her ear in shadow. That's the interesting part about faces and figures is that we know it's hair, we know there's eyes and noses and mouths, and we know all of that's there. So we can let our imagination or our what we see and what our eyes fill in. It's sort of why we maybe miss typos and whatnot, is because our eyes do fill things in. So there is a tendency when doing a portrait that you feel you have to, answer every question. And I like a lot of the suggestiveness that's going on. Now, before I do any more on her face, I want to get her the stripes on her shirt, which I think are very important because I really, sorry about that. I swear I don't get any calls during the day except when I'm on a class, so I apologize. I feel it's very important to get that shape, and then I could go back into her face and make any decisions that I want to there. So before I do the stripes on her shirt, what I'm going to do is just get a little bit of the tonality of it, the sort of movement of maybe as it goes back into her shoulder back here. This goes pretty dark. And I know it's a neck, and I know it's her hair, and I know it's a shirt. So I could just melt. And I love that word. I love the idea of just melting marks. I don't have to give all the answers. So putting these marks down before gives me the freedom to put the stripes on afterwards. And you know what? I generally do put a background, but I really don't think that I want to on this one. There's just something so wistful about her that I really want that to speak up. Just recharging this while I'm waiting for that to dry. And you could see we're what, like, 40 minutes into this and I'm just about done with her. So um, that's, it's kind of funny. My students know that I paint very fast, and I like painting fast because it gives me the opportunity to be very spontaneous. Now here's an old thing from FIT is how the clothes and the stripes are sitting around her shoulder. And you want to get that because that suggests the body. And how much do I need to know she's wearing a striped shirt? Really, you just you don't need to give all the answers. You just have to suggest them and let your viewer make those decisions. And I'm just keeping an eye on the face. And I feel like there's a couple of areas I sort of want to go back into now that I have this all done. And now I'm doing something with the blue that we do in class, which is why the blue in her face works. It's reflective color, and it's what we call bridging the palette. So giving color in multiple areas that tie the painting together. It makes it very painterly.
Jan, someone wants to know if you are using Imperial Purple.
I do have Imperial Purple. I haven't used it for this particular painting, but I do have it and I do like it. That's a Daniel Smith color. And what I like about that is it granulates into pinks. What I mentioned before, I'm using mostly my Mamori colors because they do not granulate, because I don't want that I don't want to have to worry about granulation on her face. So I'm actually not using any granulating colors. The only color that might granulate a little bit might have been my cerulean, but because I had mixed it with my dragon's blood, it did not. And my Verzino violet is also a Mamori color, and that does not granulate. She has these beautiful eyes that just kind of like teardrop down. So I really want to be sure to get that. That would be a very important part of ensuring that I capture her. What is going on? Things are bouncing all over the place. Sorry about the noise, guys. It's my office. I would love to paint in my art studio up in another part of the house, but all of my equipment is here in my office. So that's why I have the phones and the email and all of that stuff. So I apologize for all the extra sound effects. And there's a part that I just want to let the painting rest and take a look and see if there's anything more I wish to do to it. And watercolors is very timing. So you really do need to make sure that you time things that you're working in other areas while things are drying. So for instance, I really needed to wait till her lips were dry to go back in and just create that separation that she has. So you do have to time yourself on these and just not feel like, because that's when you get your results are maybe a little bit more unpredictable, because what's happening is as you're working in a damp area, and with watercolors, you don't want to work in a damp area. You want to work either wet into wet, which I did a lot with her hair, and or you want to work on dry, which is what I'm doing now with her lips. And we're just coming up to like 50 minutes now. So maybe a little bit more shadow on her eyes, little dragon's blood and violet. Right here. But overall, I feel like she came together pretty effortlessly. And of course, thank goodness for that, because, you know, I'm like live here.
Jan, I don't think you have to worry. You're getting nothing but compliments.
Oh, that's so sweet of everybody. Thank you so much. Now, so you could see that nice blue that's in the corner of her face. Really, while maybe it appeared to be a little weird before, I'm going to actually add a little bit more because I love it so much. Wow, do you see what that just did? It was like all of a sudden, it just made such a difference in her. The whole thing just really popped that. That's a scary move. I know. I understand. I get it. But what do we say in class is, you know, color gets the credit, but contrast does the work. I love that little blue that I added there. I'm really enjoying these little blue spots. A little contrary to what you might expect, but it's helping to tie the painting together. Okay, well, I'm thinking she's somewhat done. I'm going to let it rest for a while, but I'm going to come back on and see if everybody, say hi back to everybody. So I'm going to switch my camera. Oh, I see more people came on. All right. Wow. Hi, everybody. So, thank you. I feel like taking a bath. Thank you for coming on my first Jan Cam. This was a lot of fun. It's a lot of pressure I put on myself, but I love doing it and I love having you guys sort of be there, you know, in this observing thing with me. Actually, I just see something happening. I have to adjust my painting. Hold on one second. Something's moving and I want to push it back. Yeah, thank you so much for coming on. I'll be doing another one next week. I think I may do a pet next week, or I think I have this picture of this woman with a hat on that I might try. But maybe we'll do a pet next week. And if anybody recognizes this face, it's somebody's granddaughter, I think, that sent this to me to paint.
Jan,
Yeah.
we had asked someone to ask, someone asked if you could please show the photo that you used as a model.
Yes, I will do that right here, right now. I'm going to put them side by side.
And for those of you who are on Zoom, next week, if you'd like to log in on the YouTube channel, that's where we have the chat feature available.
So, photo, painting. That helped. Maybe this is better. So this was my reference. This is my painting.
That's great. Jan, thank you very much. This was wonderful. I think everybody enjoyed it. You're all saying thank you and that you're amazing and that they enjoyed the class. So thanks again, and we'll see you next week.
Yeah, if anybody wants to have any more questions or anything, we have a few more minutes. I mean, I finished, 7 minutes before the end of the hour, but if you have any more questions, please, feel free to ask. My website is janguarinofineart.com. If anybody would like to, check out my website, my newsletter, I have paintings that are in Northport Village for sale, in the Nest and in the Firefly Gallery. And I'm doing these Zoom classes, which it's the most amount of normal I get to feel during the week is this. So I really enjoy having you guys come on and be a part of that and exploring your own artwork, which is just so wonderful to have that during this crazy time that we could just come together and be together and paint and explore and create and have fun and laugh and listen to great music. Now, thank you, Howard, HowieEmerson.com, Howard Emerson. Him and his finger picking, he's working on a new CD now at the studio. So I'm anxious to hear that. I heard a little bit of it. It sounds great.
Jan, if you want to, I can allow everyone to unmute themselves so they would just
want
to say goodbye.
Yeah, absolutely. Sure. Unmute.
It was fun, Jan.
Oh, Janet, good seeing you, honey.
Hi.
Hello. Hello.
Thank you.
Oh,
Thank you, Jan.
You're welcome,
Thank you,
Eleanor.
Eleanor.
You're welcome. Yep, I see you.
Thank you. It was beautiful.
So great seeing you. Thank you so much. Thank you.
I'll see you next Tuesday.
All right. See you next Tuesday for the class, Wednesday for the Jan Cam, and
seeing a lot of you.
See you in town.
Okay.
All right.
Bye.
Okay. Thanks, everybody. Stay tuned next week. I think I got a dog, a pet. I'm gonna do. Yeah. Switch it up a little bit. Yeah. Good. Good seeing you, Kathleen. Good seeing you.
That'll be fun.
Thank you. Good seeing everybody. Thanks for popping in from Florida down there. Barbara, I see you. Margot, thanks for coming on. My millennial Jenna. Grazie, darling. My beloved millennial.
Okay.
Less than an hour. I did it.
You did great, Jan. I'm going to say goodbye and
All right.
close
Everybody
up. So
finish their cocktail. I'm going to start mine.
it's like a great idea.
Bye.
Have a good week.
Have
Bye-bye.
a good one, everybody.
Bye,
See you next
everyone.
week. Thanks for popping in. Bye, Matt. Margot. Bye, guys. Anne, Michelle, Pat, Denise, Mary, Carol. Good seeing everybody. Lawrence, Lorraine. Thanks for coming on, guys.